Hey friends, how you doing? Eric Ulis here. All right, I want to very briefly bring you up to date with what's going on with this brand new DB Cooper ground search. I'm calling it the official DB Cooper ground search, and indeed it's going to be the largest, most comprehensive ground search that's taken place looking for DB Cooper, I believe since 1972, basically. I mean, my thought is this is actually going to surpass the search that was conducted on Tina Bar itself back in 1980 when a portion of DB Cooper's ransom was found. Now, on the morning of September 4th, before the ground search gets underway, I'm going to be holding a press conference and I'm going to be discussing in some detail why it is that we're going to be searching in that area very near where a portion of DB Cooper's ransom was found. I'm going to discuss a lot of things that have come to light in my investigation over the last several months, much of which I have never discussed publicly before. So this is going to give people an idea of why it is that I believe 100% that DB Cooper actually landed very near where a portion of DB Cooper's ransom was found again in February of 1980. Now, the area that we're going to be covering is about 50 acres. All of it is within 1 3/4 miles of where the ransom was found. And the search is going to include a few different elements. It's going to include an actual on-the-ground search of the ground. It's also going to involve searching some waterways in that area there. And it's also going to involve throwing up some drones and getting an idea from the sky what the area looks like and seeing if we can identify anything from up there as well. What we're looking for specifically are DB Cooper's parachutes, perhaps the attaché case, or perhaps some of the contents that were within the attaché case, maybe some of the ransom, anything at all related to DB Cooper in his skyjacking. I think that a search of this area is critically important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is this has never been searched before. I think that explains why nothing has ever been found before outside of the $6,000. And I think it also will help explain why the $6,000 found on Tina Bar was found on Tina Bar, which is really kind of nowhere near the official FBI search area. Again, I'll get into that on the morning of September 4th during the press conference, and it obviously will affect the search moving forward at that point. So this initiative is going to take place, in my mind, throughout the winter of 2024, so about a 6-month period of time there. We're not going to be searching every single day. In fact, it'll probably be more like a couple, 2 or 3 days a month. I don't live in the area, so I'm going to be kind of traveling back and forth. But nonetheless, it's going to be an active search. We're going to be filming this entire thing, and on this YouTube channel, my plan is once a week, at least once a week, to throw up a new video that actually shows us searching and gives people an idea of what's actually taking place on the ground. So this is sort of like kind of a badass real life Oak Island if you're into that kind of a thing. And this is the real deal, folks. I mean, I firmly believe that DB Cooper's parachutes, bomb, perhaps something else is actually out there just waiting to be found. So that's the whole idea. See if we can find something, find some new evidence, help move this case along by finding some new evidence all over right there, very near Tina Bar. So importantly, folks, I want you folks to get involved. I want to invite you to be a part of history, make history here with us. Obviously, this kind of comprehensive search, when we're talking, air, sea, ground, all that kind of stuff, takes resources, takes money to do. And I want to encourage people, if you're interested, if you have the means to contribute to our effort. If you go to my website, ericulis.com, you will see that I've got an icon there related to the official DB Cooper ground search. Feel free to click on that and contribute $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever you can contribute. If you can contribute to our effort, again, make history with us. Now, also, what I'm going to be doing, or what we're going to be doing here, is while we're in town searching, again, the idea is 2-3 days a month, that type of thing. After the search is over, and we'll be doing this again as well on September 4th, we're going to be organizing, or I'm going to be organizing a get-together at some local brew pub in the greater Portland area. And the whole idea is to invite people to come out in the evening. And the first one will be on September 4th. I guess I'm planning around 6 p.m. on September 4th. I'll announce the location officially very soon here. But it's basically an opportunity for people to come out, to meet me, to meet other people, other members of the search team, which I think will kind of change over time. I'll be inviting various people to join with me to search over time. But it's an opportunity to meet us, kind of hear about firsthand what actually happened that day, ask questions, that type of thing. And it's also serving as somewhat of a fundraiser. So if somebody wants to, grab a couple beers and also maybe pitch in a few bucks towards this effort, if you can afford it, then that would be terrific as well. These events are free of charge, so you don't feel obliged to do it. If you just want to show up and kind of, talk to us and meet us and give us your thoughts or whatever, have a conversation, feel free to do that. There's no charge here, but it's one of those things where we certainly encourage people. I'll be encouraging people to pitch in 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever you can afford to pitch into this if this is something that's of interest to you. So again, I feel very strongly, very passionately about this area that we're searching. And again, I'll be getting into that on September 4th. In the winter is the ideal time to be searching. It's the ideal time primarily because the vegetation, which is brutal in that area, is kind of beat back somewhat by Mother Nature. So it's the perfect time to be searching there. And at the end of the day, I want to find something. I firmly believe that something's still out there. At a minimum, DB Cooper's parachutes are still out there. And remember, these parachutes have components that are made of stainless steel. That stuff's not going anywhere. It's certainly going to be there still after 53 years. In fact, it's going to be there in 5,000 years. But hell, the hell with it. I don't plan on being around in 5,000 years. I want to find this stuff now. I want to find this stuff this winter. I want to bring some new evidence into the case and see where that brings us. Perhaps DB Cooper jumping with his attaché case that ostensibly carried the bomb, which I believe was fake. Perhaps he took those components, the batteries, the road flares, whatever it was, electrical tape, threw that stuff on the ground, and then used that that briefcase, that empty briefcase, to maybe throw some of the cash in and walked out with that. Importantly, if that happened, the battery, the electrical tape, the road flares, that stuff's still going to be around. If we can find that stuff, we can figure out where the stuff came from. We can take a look at the electrical tape. Maybe there's some DNA on the electrical tape. Maybe there's some fingerprints on the electrical tape. I don't know. We don't know. We're not going to know until we actually get out there and search and find this stuff. But just imagine how that could advance this case. Be terrific, wouldn't it? Be absolutely terrific. So at the end of the day, that's the whole reason for this official DB Cooper ground search. And again, I want to encourage you to be a part of history, to take part of this, make history with us on this endeavor, on this effort, on this initiative over the course of the winter of 2024. And let's see what comes of it all. So again, very shortly here on my website, ericulis.com, I'll be posting some information with respect to where we're going to be having that, post-search get-together there at a local brew pub there. Again, feel free to come on by. I know it's going to be on September 4th. I know we'll be there about 6 p.m. for 2-3 hours, that kind of thing. Doesn't cost a thing, but hey, if while you're there you want to pitch in, whatever, feel free to do that. Love to have that happen. Otherwise, if you want to contribute in some manner, feel free to visit the website, ericulis.com. You can click on the link related to the official DB Cooper ground search and, feel free to make a contribution, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever the case may happen to you. I'll leave it up to you. Or maybe you just want to follow along. But again, there'll be new content that'll be coming up starting in September related to the search on the YouTube channel. So you'll get the opportunity to kind of follow in real time as this thing unfolds. Again, it's sort of a badass version. It's a real version of Oak Island, if you're into that kind of thing. So there you go. So any comments or questions, as usual, folks, feel free to reach out to me at eric@ericulis.com. And until next time, and until the search begins in earnest on September 4th, cheers.